Hey, brother. I'm Joshua Hathaway, and I'm here with my dear friend and business partner, Robert Schwenkler. And welcome to Authentic Dating Secrets, the five-step system to approach and build sexual connection with women without being a creepy douchebag. So you can date with confidence and call in the sexual, romantic, or life partner of your dreams.
So, if you're like us, there's a really good chance that you've been exposed to other dating advice gurus and pickup artists. And what I want to say is that whether you were turned off or turned on by what they had to teach, we know that you're here because you want different, you want better results with women. And this system that we're about to share with you right now is, as far as we know, something that no other dating coaches or pickup artists out there are teaching right now. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how you can get the rich, romantic, and sexual connection that you desire, even with women that seem way above your pay grade, all while being 100% authentic to yourself in a way that's not just respectful, but magnetically attractive and that turns her on. So I promise that you can have this. And the more that you pay attention to these secrets that we're about to share with you today, the more you're going to realize that having what you really want with women is so achievable. That said, we don't want to waste a moment of your time, so I hope that you will forgive us if we just dive right into the good stuff.
I want to talk to you for a moment about who this is for. All right. Basically, if you're a guy who wants to master your fear of rejection and build deep, unshakable confidence in your dating life, all while being 100% authentic with yourself and the women you date, you're in the exact right place.
So here's what you're going to get over the next 60 minutes. We're going to let you know how to confidently approach and create sexual connection with women, even if you're introverted or you think you're just not as forward or aggressive as you should be. We're going to teach you the magic decoder ring to women. So most of what you've been told about what women want is actually the exact opposite of the truth. You're going to learn what actually allows a woman to fully inhabit her turn on and her sexual desire with you.
And the third secret we will show you is how to eliminate the friend zone from your relationships permanently. How to date so that you can call in the sexual or life partner of your dreams, if that's what you're looking for right now. And we're going to show you how to do all this in a way that's 100% authentic to you and where she feels not only totally safe in your presence, but is intrigued by you, turned on by you, and is better off for her relationship with you. So here's our promise to you. If you stick with us to the end, we're going to show you the exact five-step system you can use to get the dating and sex life of your dreams. Not only that, but we're going to show you how to get these results without resorting to a single manipulative tactic or scripted approach. Everything you will learn is built on being authentically yourself and having deep respect for women. Our intention is that by the end of this webinar, you're going to realize just how possible it is for you to be so full with female connection that you're actually turning down opportunities to date or have sex with women. And you're going to do it while being 100% authentically you. Now, I know, I'm sure that you're thinking something like, this is absurd. This is not every guy who learns what we're about to show you actually gets the dating and sex life of their dreams. And that's true, honestly. The difference between these guys and the ones who do get the results is they approach what you're about to learn with a beginner's mind. We've seen absurd results in our own lives and in the lives of our clients and mentees, sometimes in a ridiculously short amount of time, ranging from the most off-the-charts sex they've ever had with their existing partners to having partners literally searching for other gorgeous women to bring into their threesomes, to meeting the woman of their dreams within a matter of weeks or months. We've seen guys go from frozen to flirtatious, from lonely to fucking buried in women. And most importantly, really getting how much a gift they are as men to the women in their lives. Hopefully that's going to be you. And you're about to get the exact step-by-step process that it takes to achieve these kind of absurd outcomes in your own life. So pay close attention.
So really quickly, some house rules. I think it should be pretty obvious by now, but this is definitely not get laid quick. This is not follow some script to get pussy. This stuff that we're going to share with you, yes, it's going to massively upgrade the way you relate with women. Don't get me wrong, but it does take work. You got to be willing to approach things with a beginner's mind, and you have to really give a shit about women. If you can't, we cannot help you. Lastly, in order for you to get the most out of this webinar, we need something from you. We need your permission to be brutally honest with you. We know that you're here because you want some breakthroughs in your relationships with women. And one of the best ways we can give that to you is by cutting the bullshit and getting real with you about what's actually getting in the way. And this is stuff that most other dating coaches are actually going to sugarcoat or even avoid entirely. So is it okay with you if we're super honest with you? Cool.
So let me check in with you so we can see where you're at. Does any of this sound like you? Are you lonely? Are you not getting dates with the caliber of women that you want to be getting dates with? Are you afraid that if you initiate contact with women at all, that you'll be perceived as creepy or even threatening? Do you feel conflicted because it seems like in order to get results with women, you need to be more alpha, more assertive, even more aggressive. You need to nag her. You need to make her feel bad about herself. And that doesn't feel right to you? Do you keep ending up in the friend zone with women that you are sexually attracted to? Is your sex life largely relegated to porn and your right or left hand? Do you feel overwhelmed and confused about how to get back into the dating game after a divorce or a breakup? If any of that stuff sounds like you, then I actually have some good news for you, bro. None of those things, believe it or not, are the real problem. The real problem is that you haven't made the shifts that we're about to explain to you. We're going to get into that in a moment. But right now, just understand that once you get these secrets, you're going to have complete control over the quantity and quality of female connection you have in your life. You're going to have an unshakable confidence. You're going to realize that rejection is an illusion. All of the female connection that you desire is going to be available to you. You're going to be living life from an energized and turned on place that is magnetic to women. And you're going to be able to do all this while staying 100% authentic to yourself and your own values.
So we want to take a moment and introduce ourselves here. We want to tell you a little bit about who we are and why you should listen to us. Myself and Joshua, we're currently enjoying sex lives that are way beyond our wildest dreams, even just a few years ago. We're talking about the kind of stuff that would make most guys jealous. The thing we want you to understand, though, is that these same secrets we've discovered to create these results, we've been able to apply them not just to our lives, but to the lives of our clients, guys from all around the world. And these same secrets are the exact ones we're going to map out for you today. So whether you want to be dating multiple women with no particular end goal in mind, you just want to enjoy yourself and enjoy women, whether you want to find the long-term partner of your dreams, whether you want to be having sex with multiple lovers from around your city, around the country, or even around the world, or even if you're in relationship already and you just need to upgrade your man mojo, it's all the same basic roadmap. If you're not aware of these things and acting accordingly, your relationships with women are going to suffer, period. And what we're going to do today is walk you through exactly what the journey to authentic, unshakable confidence with women looks like. So a little bit about our professional stats. Joshua and I have helped hundreds of men around the world achieve mind-blowing results in their lives. You're going to get to hear a little bit more about some of these breakthroughs later on in this webinar. We're co-founders of the Brotherhood Community. This is a global organization that's dedicated to helping men thrive in every area of their lives. And we have a collective 3.5 decades of experience working with men from almost every continent.
Hey guys, Joshua here. And I realize that you may look at me and think that I've always been able to get any woman that I want thanks to these like chiseled jawline and great hair, etc. But I promise you that's not the case. Because I played the nice guy almost my whole life, acting out these feminist values, wondering constantly if I was good enough for the really beautiful women in my world. For so much of my life, I was so terrified of rejection that I would basically wait for women to approach me or show obvious interest, right? That very strategy got me into a 13-year-long relationship that was based on the kinds of compromises that were deadly to our intimacy and to my happiness. Now, after my divorce, I had to figure out the dating scene by myself because literally none of my friends were single, and I fucking did. Now, ever since then, I've been getting more and more of what I want and what women want as well, thanks to the secrets that we are about to show you. And at one point, I literally had one of my several lovers on her own volition going out and searching for women to bring into our bed because she just wanted it so bad. And if I showed you a picture of this girl, you literally might not believe me. She's so gorgeous. And now I'm in the most amazing monogamous relationship of my life with a true queen and having the most amazing sex every single day.
I want to share a little bit about my story as well. So, I've spent most of my life in a deep state of suffering and loneliness when it came to women. I had a lot of shame around the fact that I didn't get laid for the first time until I was age 25. What I had even more shame about was the fact that I had 3 opportunities before then, but each time I couldn't get a hard on. My dick wouldn't get hard. And so each time it was like shame piled on top of shame, piled on top of shame. And it all morphed into this paralyzing ball of fear when it came to connecting with women. For years upon years, I was the ultimate nice guy. I literally wouldn't look at women on the street because I thought that I was doing something to them. I thought that I was objectifying and somehow hurting them simply by being attracted to a woman. Me 10 years ago would not recognize me today. These days, I'm seeing lovers both nationally and internationally, and all of them are gorgeous, conscious goddesses who make my life better just as I make their lives better. And everything is totally over the table. There's no lying, there's no hiding, there's no cheating, there's no shame around any of it. Things have gotten to the point where I've actually had to start turning down women for sex because I want the women who I do spend time with to feel fully in alignment for me. And thanks to these secrets, not only is my sex life off the charts, but my relationships are 100% drama free. Because guess what? The women I'm attracting, they're conscious, they're evolved, and they take accountability for their own side of the picture, just as I do mine. So basically, I get so much more of the good with so much less of the bad.
It took us years, spending literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on our personal growth, years of trial and error with lots of super embarrassing failed attempts at meeting women. We saw so many pickup artist gurus teaching tools and tactics, and we were paying attention, but none of them really felt quite right. None of what we learned really matched our own values. These kinds of tools and tactics can get you phone numbers, they can even get you laid. But as we began to look deeper, we realized that many of them actually poison any possibility of a truly intimate long-term relationship. We knew we had to learn how to do things our own way. And the same values that we held for ourselves in our own lives, values like integrity, honesty, and authenticity, could not be compromised at any stage of the relationship. This means that even from moment one of approaching a woman, our values have to be fully online as men. Otherwise, the relationship is being built on the quicksand of lying, hiding, and manipulation. It was rocky at first, but over time we realized that there were these 5 secrets to approaching and building sexual connection with women without being sleazy, creepy, pushy, or out of integrity. We started teaching our clients these same secrets, and they have been able to achieve incredible results in a very short amount of time. Guys who, just like you, my friend, had been feeling hopeless, thinking they might never have the romance that they really wanted, thinking that they are just going to spend the rest of their lives jerking off in their rooms alone to porn. And what we want you to know is that these principles extend way beyond your dating life. When you master these secrets, your sense of purpose and fulfillment will get better. Your career is going to get better. Your dick is going to grow at least 1 inch, and your sex is going to get way better. And you might have laughed when I talked about your dick growing, but brother, the size of your member is more a function of your own self-worth than it is a size of some physical reality. And trust me, when you own it, she will love it.
At the end of the day, though, it's not just about getting laid, although we definitely want that for you. It's because for too many men, it comes down to a matter of life and death. I know that some of the guys listening to this webinar have been to some really dark places: divorce, addiction, depression, and even potentially considering suicide. What I want to say is, trust me, brother, you're not alone. Loneliness can spiral into some really painful and dangerous places. I've experienced these places myself. I know that Joshua has experienced these places himself. So have so many of the men from across the globe that we've worked with. What we know is that men who are in thriving relationships are happier. They're better sons, they're better friends, they're better fathers, and the research actually shows that they live longer. These guys are better partners to the women in their lives, and they make the world a better place. Some of them have literally said that our work together saved their lives. So really, we're here to inspire the healthiest, most potent, most alive version of you. This world needs the best of you. These secrets will ultimately get you much more than just a thriving dating life. They will get you a thriving life, period.
So today what we want to do is pull back the curtain. We want to show you the distillation of these 5 secrets that we've discovered, that men who are up to their necks in rich, juicy connection with women are doing, and that likely you are not doing. So pay very close attention, because what we're about to share with you is dead opposite of most of what you've been taught. And it's going to change your fucking life. So our first secret for you today is own your value. And for many men, it's hard to understand what that really means. But I want to show you what the opposite is. I want to show you what is familiar to many of us. So imagine for a moment a man who lives life in a constant fear of rejection. He doesn't connect with women nearly as often as he wants to, if ever, because he's terrified that if he approaches her, he's going to come off as creepy or pushy or just be outright rejected by her. And so in the moments when he's really honest with himself, he realizes that he's actually really lonely.
So one day he's out at the coffee shop or maybe the grocery store, maybe the bank, and he sees a woman. He sees a cutie that catches his eye. He feels a desire come up for her. She's gorgeous. This woman is hot. In his mind's eye, he imagines approaching her and starting a conversation, and he can almost see it. He imagines himself feeling relaxed and confident, saying just the right thing. She smiles. There's a rush of energy as he finds connection with this woman. He feels in his body the impulse to walk toward her. He knows that right now is the moment to take action or it's going to be gone. And then the fear strikes. In a split second, he's completely frozen. He's up in his head. He feels paralyzed. And he sits there trying to figure out what he could say that wouldn't sound awkward or sound weird. And he comes up with absolutely nothing. And so he does absolutely nothing. And the moment passes by. She goes on with her day, never even realizing that he exists. Again.
So whether it's immediately in the moment or later on when he gets home and he's reflecting on his day, the very familiar self-flagellation shows up. You know what you needed to do, man? Just man up and approach her. Dude, you should have this handled by now. You should be better at this. Why can't you do this? What's wrong with you? Are you broken? Are you doomed to live a pathetic, lonely, humiliated life, rejected by women, ignored by women? What makes a man is being confident with women and having their attention. What are you, soft? Are you a pussy? Are you weak? Are you broken? Is this how it's going to be for the rest of your life? If any of this is familiar to you, then you understand what it's like to not own your value.
So when you're not owning your value, what this means is that your self-worth depends on whether a woman says yes to you. How you feel about yourself is totally in her hands. What this means is that you're actually seeking validation from her. What you also need to know is that this is one of the most unattractive things to a woman ever. She's just going to completely dry up on you if you do this. She will be able to feel your unspoken neediness from across the room. She's going to feel it before you even walk into the room. And here's the really cool thing, is that when you own your value, you realize that rejection is an illusion. Imagine walking through the world knowing through every cell in your body that you are a gift, that your attention is a precious resource that makes the world a better place. Not in a way that makes you better than anybody else, but simply in a way where you don't need to get validation from anybody else, especially not women.
A man who sees that woman and owns his value knows that his attention is going to be a gift to her, is going to make her day better. Let me illustrate what happens when you own your value. Try this analogy on for size. Say you wake up one morning with the burning desire to make someone's day. So you go into your drawer where you have a $50 Amazon gift card and head out onto the streets to give it to a random stranger. If the first person you approach with this gift card does not accept, does that mean anything about the value of the gift card that you're offering? Does that mean that somehow the gift card is flawed and that you ought to go and make some self-demeaning story up about the gift card? Hell no. You still got $50 on a gift card in your hand, and the fact that they didn't want that money means nothing about the value of the card. It diminishes the card in no way whatsoever. That's what it means to own your value, to know that your presence, your attention is a gift, and to not have that gift depend on how it is received.
So when you're owning your value in this way, what happens is that you end up giving a fuck. You're not trying to get a fuck from anybody. You show up in every interaction with the intention to give something meaningful, not to get something from her, not because you want to get attention from her, not because you want to get sex from her. You show up giving your attention. You show up giving yourself as a gift. This is your $50 Amazon gift card.
So what happens when you're showing up owning the value of your gift card? You become playful. You show up as confident. You become magnetically attractive to women because you're not trying to take anything from them. And they will naturally trust you. They will naturally be delighted by your approach. But don't just take my word for it. Here's what some gorgeous, evolved women have to say about this very subject.
When a guy's not owning his value, there's something that he's trying to get from me, and in some way that I have to feel like I either have to protect myself. It's not fun. It doesn't feel good, and it definitely doesn't get him what he wants.
I need someone who's going to show up and feel really solid and confident in themselves. And when they're not in that space, it's either friend zoned or it's kind of like, oh, I want to help you. So when somebody is directing their neediness and they're grasping and they aren't standing with value, I actually don't really notice them. But if they are trying to attach to me and have that kind of graspy experience, I immediately want to push away.
Well, it's frustrating being with someone that is always downplaying their value, and I have to coax out their value, or I have to show them their worth. That's emotionally exhausting.
I have enough energy and space to validate that you're worthy, but I don't have energy and space to validate that you're worthy and give you this pussy. So it's like, if you could have one or the other, which one would you rather have?
To be with someone who really gets their value, it's like night and day. The turn on is hot. The conversation is hot. It's easy. I feel like I can relax.
So for example, this guy out in California asked me to make out with him, and it felt like he had already accepted if I said no. And it makes my yes so much cleaner. It makes me be able to show up and be a fuck yes.
And that's probably one of the sexiest things. I will notice somebody like that if I walk into a space and they can own their value and their confidence and look me in the eyes and not be fumbling over themselves, but speak in a way that is deliberate.
It's attractive. I feel drawn in and I feel curious and I want to know more.
So this next secret, guys, is the magic decoder ring to women. It is to understand her world. It's here that we're going to bust our first myth, and we're going to call it the Madonna myth.
One of the most misleading myths that you've ever been sold is that men somehow have inherently more sexual desire than women, that women are inherently chaste, and that men must be just these horny beasts continually going after women who must fend them off, etc., etc. Over the course of hundreds, if not thousands of conversations with women about sex and intimacy, we've discovered that in many, many cases, the exact opposite is true. The truth is that most women are outrageously sexual beings that have tremendous sexual desire. They are dirty little sluts on the inside. And when it's fully expressed, a woman's sexual desire will often, if not always, totally dwarf a man's desire all day and all night long. The catch is, and when you get this at a fundamental level, everything will change for you in your connection with women. The catch is that in order for her sexual desire to come out in the tidal waves that she's likely capable of, you need to be a presence that has her feel deeply safe in a world that by and large is not safe for her full sexual expression. What you need to understand is that women are way smarter and more sensitive than most men when it comes to relationship. She can smell your bullshit before you have any idea it's there. And if she does, she will feel unsafe. She will contract. She will pull away. You have to learn to understand and respect this intelligence in women. When a woman feels deeply safe, nothing else is needed. She will be magnetized toward you. When you make her feel safe, no script or canned opening lines, no pickup tactics, nothing can fake that. When you deeply respect a woman from a place of owning your value, what naturally follows is that women will be turned on. And what a lot of guys have misunderstood in the era of the hashtag #MeToo movement is that women want you to approach them. Women have tremendous desire. They want to be validated. They want to be seen for their beauty, and they're yearning for the right guy to meet her right there. A guy that can allow her to feel deeply safe in their presence while also appreciating her beauty and magnetism. When you make a woman feel safe, her sexual desire will leave you in a puddle of awe and ecstasy.
What would you say to the guy who is just scared that if he says hi or makes a move, he's going to be a creep or he's going to come across as aggressive?
He is. If he believes that about himself, he is.
And if he doesn't?
And if he doesn't, he won't.
Do you respect a man a little more who takes a chance on coming up to you? Is that hot to you?
Oh, yeah, that's very hot. And, it absolutely is very hot. I absolutely love it.
It's super sexy when someone comes to me with their truth and they're like, this is my truth. You don't have to validate it. It doesn't have to be right for you, but I just really need to own that in my body.
Oh, it's just a space of play. It's a space of play every time.
Women have a lot more sexual energy than most people receive, and even more than men.
I mean, we have just as much sexual desire as men. We really do. And I don't know, I think sometimes we actually have more.
So yeah, I walk around with like a lot of hunger, a lot of desire for sex in all different types of ways.
Women have a lot of desire.
Women have a lot of sexual desire.
And we're constantly questioning if it's safe for our desire to be in a space.
We just need a safe space that is free from agenda, free from demand.
So I'm really careful with my desire. And then there are some men like you, like Joshua, like every man at the end of your training that feel like this lush green oasis. Here is a safe place for fire. Bring your fire in. And then I can just like pour that fire out.
When I do feel safe, when I do feel very honored as a goddess, oh, it's on. We better close all the windows, and there's a good chance security is going to be called in the hotel, which just happened to me. The neighbors are going to hate your guts. And yes, hopefully there aren't
and
a
it's
lot
going
of
to be
children,
a good night for you.
Hopefully there's not a lot of young children and elderly people within a 100-mile radius, because it's going to be a number of really big ones.
Yes.
So this all begs the question, what precisely is it that makes a woman feel safe? Unfortunately, so many guys, in their well-meaning attempts to get this right, actually get it incredibly wrong. These guys end up repelling the exact women that they want to be attracting. And this leads us directly into secret number 3. Secret number 3 is to claim your desire. So, brother, this is the part of the webinar where we're going to take you up on your permission to be brutally honest with you. So is that cool if we go there? While other dating coaches or programs might try to sugarcoat this part or even avoid it entirely, this is only serving to keep you stuck. We're not here to BS you like that, because we know that you deserve better, and we know that you're ready for better. What you're about to learn is going to permanently eliminate the friend zone from your life. Implementing this single secret will take you from friendship to super hot makeouts and off the chart sex in almost no time flat. It has for us, it has for the guys who work with us.
So let's cut the foreplay and just get into it. We've got some news for you, bro. Some of it's bad, some of it's good. Let's go ahead and get the bad news out of the way. What we covered in that last secret, understand her world, is that women have tremendous sexual desire, and that when they feel safe, it opens up. Key word is when they feel safe. Here's the deal. We know that you're a caring dude who has a woman's best interests at heart. You get the importance of being respectful and sensitive to women. You're consciously on the path to be a safe man for them. Unfortunately, in your well-meaning attempts to make her feel safe, you've actually been doing the exact opposite. You're creating an incredibly unsafe environment that is repelling to the kind of women you want to be attracting into your life. It's not your fault. The problem is that even good guys like you and I have been taught a single myth of masculinity that's ruining everything for you and for her. If you're making this mistake, you not only become the creepy guy in her world, but you completely destroy all hope of having a long-term thriving sex life, period. So let's bust this myth right now. It's called the myth of the nice guy.
Let me paint a picture of an imaginary man for a moment. Let's call him Mr. Nice, and let me know if any of this sounds familiar to you, all right? Mr. Nice is a really, really good guy. And because Mr. Nice is so nice, he's very, very careful to always be sensitive and respectful to women. He's super careful to make sure that his intentions are good, that he's a safe man. He's super careful to not ever be creepy or aggressive. He almost never says no to a woman or stands up for his real desire. In the era of Me Too, he might even have gotten the message that women aren't even interested in men or sex anymore. There's a good chance he thinks something like, guys are probably hitting on her all the time. I'm not going to approach her. I'm not going to be that guy. He might think things like, she's just going to see me as another hungry, desperate guy who's only after sex. Well, who wouldn't want a guy like that? A guy who's sensitive and who's respectful and attuned. That seems great, right?
Wrong. When we take an honest look at what Mr. Nice is actually about, we discover some surprising things. In reality, when it comes to his dating life, Mr. Nice spends massive amounts of time and energy trying not to be the one thing he's most horrified to be: the asshole creep. He's trying not to be aggressive, trying not to be domineering, trying not to be disrespectful. He's trying not to be delivering unwelcome sexual advances. And as admirable as that is, what strategy do you suppose Mr. Nice Guy employs in order to make sure that he's not those things? He lies. He hides his truth, especially his sexual desire, at almost any cost. Is Mr. Nice attracted to a woman that he met? Of course he is. But he'll try to be really friendly and respectful. And without ever actually honestly expressing his desires, he'll try to befriend his way into her pants. Let me just get close to her as a friend, and then eventually she'll want to fuck me. If he feels like there's even one chance in 100 that he might get laid, he'll use the only strategy he knows: being nice, hoping that at some point she'll come around and want to fuck him. Turns out that Mr. Nice is actually incredibly manipulative. Doesn't look so nice anymore, does it? But when you suppress your sexual desire, because women can smell your bullshit a mile away, they feel the incongruence, and you become the creepy guy in her world. You become undesirable because you are not congruent with yourself.
So what's the solution here? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not what some other dating coaches teach. It is not to use negs, which is slang for putting her down so that you can keep her emotionally hooked and maintain top dog status in the relationship. It's not to make yourself be more cocky and funny with her. It's not some scripted approach to meeting women. These tactics can get you short-term results, but if she really knew what was going on behind the scenes, would any woman really want to be with a guy who's reciting lines, intentionally putting on a cocky act, or putting her down so that he can get her to fuck him? No, of course not. We know that doing this stuff wouldn't be authentic to who you are either. Here's what women actually want. What they want is an evolved man. So what does that mean? It means that women want a man who's completely unapologetic about his sexual desire and this is the key, get this, who, because he's fully owned his value and he fully understands her world, he does not obligate her to any particular response. I'll say this in a slightly different way. This man is 100% honest about his feelings and desires. He does not hide his sexual desire. And he expects or demands nothing from her in return. He doesn't need anything from her. This takes every bit of pressure off of her. It removes all of the creepiness from your interactions with her. This is what we call desire without demand. Desire without demand will turn a woman on faster than you can count to 10. I mean it. I really mean it. And I think you should know exactly how true that is.
It's like a man that owns his desire. It's just a feeling of safety when I'm with them. It unleashes my animal, like it unleashes my turn on, it unleashes my hunger. I feel really seen and taken care of because he's being really honest with me every step of the way. It kind of feels like a vacation. We're just having fun, we're playing, we're eating, we're having sex. I love that, being in vacation mode with a man who owns his desire.
To me, that is a definition of a sweet, conscious guy. Because, hey, it's nothing wrong with being honest and saying, hey, you know what? I find you very attractive. And, hey, whenever you're ready, I'd like to get to know you a little bit more.
So it's like, I don't want a guy to come up to me and be all like, hi, it's nice to talk to you, and trying to kind of like hide their masculinity or sort of like apologize for the fact that they have a cock or something. Like, I want them to be like, hey, like, here I am, like, fully inhabiting this being that I am, and I'm also right here with my heart, and I think that you're incredible.
Well, when I have these conversations with men and they're expressive about their desires, there's a level of intimacy and closeness that happens in that space where I feel more called to bring in my own desires as well. And it feels safe for me to bring in, like, I have these fantasies, or I have this desire, or, whatever they are, like, I won't go into those fantasies. I'm going to stop there.
Yeah, a man who owns his desire, it just feels safe. It feels like I'm free to play with him. It just makes it okay for that to be my desire. It's not like, what? You slut? You want to be on your knees? It's like, what? You slut? You want to be on your knees?
I can't tell you how many women come to me practically begging to tell them where they can meet guys who have mastered this powerful secret. Guys who can claim their desire without demand. Guys like this are what might be called conscious cock. In our personal networks alone, we have basically an endless supply of women who are starving for some conscious cock. Once you've mastered this secret, you have become the conscious cock that women crave. And the fact is that many women don't even know that this is possible. I had a buddy of mine basically tell me that the way I show up in the world is honestly unfair, because women are so desirous of a presence that shows up for them so fully, that just listens to them and honors them and respects them and claims his desire. That he was like, dude, what you do is almost unfair, even though it's completely honest and completely in integrity for you. That's the kind of unfair advantage I want you to have. Now, our fourth secret today is take aligned action. So at this point, we're going to get honest again with you, amigo. Because when it comes down to it, there are really only two reasons right now that you're not having to turn away women who want to date you and fuck you. Reason number one is you're just not approaching women. You're hanging out in your comfort zone back here, telling yourself some really compelling lies about what women really want. Or number two, you are approaching women, but you're showing up as creepy because you're rejecting yourself. Either way, you're fucked, and not in a good way. But here's what you need to know about the 3 secrets that you've learned so far. When you fully own your value, when you really understand her world, and when you really, truly claim your desire, what you really want, unapologetically, without demanding, you become creep-proof. You've heard the women speak about what happens when a guy gets these principles. He becomes more attractive and magnetic. He becomes someone that they are curious about and are drawn toward, right? So now that you've got that, now that you understand how to be creep-proof, the only next logical step is to start taking some action, right? Well, almost. You can't just take any action. There are plenty of places on the internet you can go to learn how to take action that will get you results with women. You can learn really slick opening scripts, learn how to get tons of phone numbers, and even how to get her to have sex with you that night. But in order to apply these principles, you need to take aligned action. This means that anytime you choose to interact with a woman, whether it's the first time or the 100th time, you're doing it in a way that is authentic to you, that is aligned with your values, and that will leave her better off for having interacted with you. Once you get these first 3 secrets and start taking aligned action, you will begin to attract as many of the right women as you can handle or more. The only problem you'll have at this point is figuring out which women to say yes to. And I can tell you from personal experience that women would much rather share a man who's showing up in his integrity and authenticity than to have a man all to themselves who's playing Mr. Nice. Here's what happened when our client Sean started to take aligned action.
Hey guys, as far as the workshop went this weekend, fuck, wow. Unbelievable, absolutely incredible experiences. I had no idea. I've got 6 phone numbers that I asked for, and trickling in are requests for friends on Facebook and others, and I am not really even sure where to start. Honestly, at this point, I'm a loose cannon. I got phone numbers from 6 women. 2 of them contacted me, and I asked the Tantrika out at the event. So, I've been busy.
Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, we thought so too. Here's the catch though, man. When we share these secrets with most guys, they nod their heads and they say, yeah, man, that makes sense. I totally get this. This all really resonates with me. And then what do you think happens? Nothing. They don't do anything. They go out, they see a woman they're attracted to, they remember what we told them in this webinar, and they think, all right, I got to own my desire for this woman. I got to go start a conversation with her. And most men still end up sitting on their hands and they do nothing. They say nothing. And as an inevitable result, they get nothing. Why does this happen? The reason this happens is because it's one thing to know what to do, and it's a whole other thing to actually do it. And this leads us right into our next secret. So our 5th secret for you today is to invest in mentorship. Before we dive a little bit deeper into that, there's something that you need to know about what you've already learned in this webinar. These secrets, these principles, they're reliable as physics. These secrets work, period. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Just like an apple will fall to the ground when you open your hand, when a man begins to master these secrets, he becomes more fuckable in the eyes of women. I get it though. It's vulnerable to ask for help. If you're like most guys, at various points through this webinar, there was a voice in your head. You probably didn't even notice it, but it might have been saying something like, but I'm broken with women. This isn't going to work for me. Or, I need to just man up. I need to just figure this out. I don't need somebody to coach me through this. I should have this handled by now. I should just be good at this. You might be thinking, I've already tried everything and none of it worked. I'm too proud to admit that I'm not good with women. It's something that I tie so intimately to my masculinity that to admit that I'm not good there would be to admit that I'm a failure as a man. Know this, 99% of the guys who are masterful with women, these are guys who are enjoying regular sexual connection with sexy, conscious women. These guys were not born with some special gene that made them good with women. No. At first, they totally sucked at it. They felt super lonely. They had moments of utter hopelessness about ever being good with women. But you want to know what separates these guys from the guy who's jerking off alone to his laptop at night? It's that they committed to mastering this part of their lives. They invested in themselves. They got fed up with that bullshit and they did what it took to make it happen. They went out and they got mentorship. They found people that they respected, guys who were living the dream that they wanted, guys whose values they aligned with.
Listen, so many men have inherited the idea that getting help is a sign of weakness, when in reality, getting support is a sign of strength and intelligence. Because the truth is that the Michael Jordans of the dating world didn't get where they are by trying to do it all alone. They sought out the best coaching and the best teammates they could to achieve the extraordinary outcomes that they wanted. They sought out world-class mentorship and world-class support. And that's exactly what we're inviting you into, because the right mentorship helps you achieve the results better and faster, and to have more fun and more connection along the way. Imagine what it would be like to be surrounded by men who are committed to mastering the same things that you're committed to mastering and having the quality of relationships that you want. And you're all being mentored and coached by guys who not only have it in spades, but know how to deliver the kind of support that you need. So let me ask you, over the past 12 weeks, how many women have you asked out on a date? How many dates have you gone on? Are you having as much sex as you want? And has it been exactly the kind of sex that you want? Basically, are you not just satisfied, but fucking ecstatic about your dating and sex life? If not, if the answer is no, you need more than just a roadmap, which we've generously given you here in this webinar. You need to seek out mentorship that you trust. Someone who's achieved what you want to achieve and whose values align with yours. If you want to achieve epic results with women, the best and fastest way to do that is to find someone who's already achieved those results themselves, who's already helped other people achieve it, and spend what it takes to work with them in time and energy.
Before we wrap up today, there's one last thing that you need to know about getting mentorship. So we know tons of women. We know a lot of really conscious, evolved, gorgeous goddesses. These are women who are in touch with their turn on. These women aren't afraid to let out every single bit of their sexual desire with the right man. These are women who fully inhabit their sexual desire and are bursting to give it to the right men. These women are drama-free. They make dating and relationship mutually enjoyable and fulfilling. And these women, they're going to go out of their way to tell you how much of a king and a sex god you are. What you need to know about women like this is that they don't date any Joe off of the street. They don't mess around with guys who aren't getting mentorship. They don't mess around with guys who haven't owned their value, who can't claim their desire, and who don't really understand their world. These women have a high bar. They basically require a man who's actively working on himself and mastering these 5 secrets. What you need to know is that whether you want to attract 1 conscious, sexy goddess or 10 conscious, sexy goddesses into your life, you need to be getting mentorship. You need to be investing in your growth and finding mentorship and also finding community with other men that you trust. Talk to me a little bit about what happens for you when you meet a guy and tells you that he invests in himself. He invests in mentorship. He does his own personal work with other men.
Yeah, it's like, that melts my panties right away. I'm like, it's really good. Melts everything off. There's no word for it. I can't get enough of that person. Like, I want to be around that person.
I'm immediately more interested. There's more appeal there for me. There's more depth. There's more range. I'm more interested in talking with them. I melt every time, when I meet a man like that. And it's just like, where do they live? I would like to find a pod of them because they exist somewhere. I just don't know where they are. And it's like a unicorn. I meet one and I immediately go, you're okay. You guys exist in the world and I want more of that. I want way more of that.
Oh, you have a network. I know that I can come into this and it's not going to be more work.
Yeah, that moves him to the top of my list very quickly. You can trust that person because they have accountability and structure and they're building their confidence and they're looking at their weak spots. And that means I don't have to. It's like so fucking hot. I can enjoy myself simply because he's taking care of himself and I don't have to be his mommy and do it for him.
And I want more men to be doing that.
So delicious to me when my partner gets support. I don't have to carry him. I don't have to be his emotional resource. I think there's a lot of men walking around out there tough as nails thinking that they're never going to need to collaborate with anyone else to get their needs met. And all that does is overburden your romantic partners. It's not true. It's just not true. If you want a woman who knows that her sex is good, who knows that your sex is good, who wants to have a lot of it with you, who wants to brag to her friends and share you with her friends, she's waiting for you to have this work done. If you want it to be easy, the women who can let it be easy, they're only looking for men who've done this work.
Listen, I know we've covered a lot today. You've already learned a ton here. You have heard from us how to confidently approach and create sexual connection with women, even if you're introverted or think that you're just not as forward or aggressive as you, quote, should be. You can do this once you've fully owned your value. Secret 1. In Secret 2, you learned what women really want. This is the magic decoder ring to women, that when women feel safe in a world where their desire is not often a safe thing, that their desire can come forth in a way that will astound you. In the 3rd secret, you learned how to eliminate the friend zone by owning your desire, by claiming exactly what you want. You learned how to date so that you can call in the sexual and or life partner of your dreams And you learned how to do all of this in a way that is 100% authentic to you, where she feels not just totally safe in your presence, but is intrigued by you, is turned on by you, and is better off for her relationship with you.
So now you have a choice. You can keep doing things the way that you've been doing them. You can keep going about women, sex, and dating the way that you have been. You can keep letting fear of rejection stop you from going up to her and striking up a playful conversation. You can keep doing the nice guy thing, and you can keep getting friend zoned by women that you're attracted to. You can keep resorting to work or achievement or porn or masturbation or whatever it is that you do to distract yourself from how lonely and impotent you actually feel with women. Or if you're done with being the nice guy, if you're done letting this fear stop you, and you want to implement these secrets into your life so you can create the dating and sex life of your dreams, we've set aside some time over the next few days to speak with you personally. What we want to do is spend 30 minutes with you creating a personalized strategy that you can follow immediately to start getting results in your sex and dating life. Whatever your exact situation is, however unique you think you are, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're like, guys, but I haven't gone on a date in 3 years. Or Robert, I'm in my 30s and I've never had sex with a woman. Or Joshua, you know what? I'm in my 40s or my 50s. I'm divorced. I'm super intimidated and actually really overwhelmed at the prospect of getting back into dating. Because guess what? You're not the only one. There are hundreds of guys who thought that they were the only one, and it is never true. It frequently turns out that the guy sitting next to him has struggled with the exact same thing. These principles apply the same to every man and every relationship, no matter who you are or what your exact situation is.
So on this webinar, we've given you some fundamental principles in broad strokes. But every guy is going to apply those principles in a very different way in his unique world and life. So what we're going to do is get together and customize what we've taught you today so that it applies to you and you can start applying it to your dating life immediately. That's it. No cost. It's absolutely free. The only catch is these sessions aren't for everyone. This is not for the kind of guy who just wants to keep skating along on the surface, looking for the next tactic that will help him manipulate a woman into having sex with him. These calls are for the guys who are committed to their inner growth, to mastering their dating life. For the guys who hold themselves to the highest level of integrity when it comes to women, sex, and dating. This is for the guys who are hungry to learn more about themselves and grow as men. And if that's you, click the button below the video screen and book a call now.
So here's why we're doing this, because you might be thinking something along the lines of, yeah, well, this sounds cool, but why are you doing this? And why are you doing this for free? Well, there's a couple reasons. We do this because we see how much guys are struggling around dating and sex, and it fucking hurts. It hurts me because I know and I have seen that with the right help and a little bit of guidance, you don't have to be afraid of asking her out. You don't have to sit alone at night. We're sick and tired of guys having the tools and not implementing them. Basically, this is your opportunity to get personal one-on-one mentorship from us. Two guys who don't just talk about this stuff, we live it every day, and we have been helping men get these kinds of results in their own lives for decades. We want to be super, super clear with you. If we think you're a good fit for one of our programs, we're going to let you know straight up. But just like these principles apply to women, they also apply to everything that we do. So if you're a good fit, we're going to let you know. But we're not going to hard sell you. We're not going to pressure you into anything. Desire without demand applies here too.
That's right. Because we use the same principles in our work as we use with the women that we meet. And desire without demand is a fundamental value of ours. So here, my friend, is what I want you to do if you are ready to stop waiting for the woman of your dreams to be delivered to your doorstep in a fucking gift basket. If you're ready to take some aligned action, then sign up for a call with us by clicking on the button beneath this video. You just click on the button beneath this video, and when you click on the button beneath this video, you're going to see our calendar pop up on your screen. Now, if you don't see a button for some reason, then go to your browser and type in authenticdatingsecrets.com/talk. That's all one word, authenticdatingsecrets.com/talk. And our calendar is going to open up and show you all the appointments we have available in the next few days. You just grab the one that works best for you. You fill in your name and email and phone number, and you get the information about how to log into the video meeting room at the time that you choose. And it is going to be one of the best experiences you've ever had talking about your dating life. It's going to feel so good to be taking the reins.
Guys get so much clarity out of these calls. Our intention is that you leave this call mind blown with how much insight you have and how clear you have become about exactly what your next step should be going forward. So click the button on this page or go to authenticdatingsecrets.com/talk and book a call to speak with us. Now, you've got to go sign up right now because spaces are limited. There's a lot of people listening to this presentation, and there's only 2 of us. If you get there first, then you'll get first choice. And we want to leave you with one final thing. It's that women want you to succeed with them. Men who master these secrets have an impact far beyond just their own lives. They make the lives of the women around them immeasurably better. Women are desperate for more men like this. How would we know? We'll let women speak for themselves.
If you had the opportunity to whisper in a man's ear, and there are many of these men out there who are feeling lonely, they're feeling a bit hopeless and powerless around having the courage to initiate interactions with women for fear of being a burden or of being rejected, what would you say to these guys?
I just feel my heart opening right now just thinking about that. That we need you, we need your desire, that you're perfect, that if a woman has her own stuff come up, to not let that shut you down, to continue to have the courage to lean in and to share your pleasure and to share your desire with the world, with others. We need you, we fucking need you. And that's the pain from the Me Too thing. It's the pain is from all of that. Men have now shut down. Please. We need you. Fucking need you.
Wow. Emily, thank you so much for saying what so many women feel but can't yet put into words. And as for you, brother, if you are ready to get your sex and dating life handled, then let's talk. Click the button below and book your appointment now. We're really excited to speak to you. I'm Robert Schwenkler.
And I'm Joshua Hathaway.
And we'll talk soon.